Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this video. Welcome to the Veterans View, our channel, a veteran's perspective on things going on in our community. Bojo bedasage nandejnakas megaze nondam boating donjaba. Again, that's a greeting in my Ojibwe tongue for those non-indigenous that decide to come across this channel and watch a couple videos. But today's discussion I would like to talk about is leadership. I'd like to talk about some important traits that I think every great leader should have. I say great leader because I'm sure all of us along the lines have worked for some good leaders, also worked for some bad leaders. But the rare occasion we've worked for some great leaders that probably changed your whole perspective on, leadership. A great leader will do that. So I got some notes again, so I'll be looking over here. So I apologize that I'm directly not engaged. This is really new to me again, but I think it's a good way for me to get my ideas out there. Maybe inspire some others for some change. And no way means here to make anybody look bad or anything negative. I just kind of want a discussion on some traits that are very important to me for great leadership. And leadership affects all of us in our community, whether we like it or not. So again, maybe I'll start. I had a sign in front of my house, one of those ones you drive by and there's some writing on it. I tried doing that to get some of my messages out, and maybe it did, but one of the ones I liked the best was attitude reflects leadership. And that means to me is that if everybody has a poor attitude and isn't happy and is bitter, and angry, that's a direct reflection of our leadership, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. In the military, I've worked for a lot of good leaders and the environment was okay. But then I worked for a couple great leaders and that environment changed. It was almost life-changing, inspiring you to go fight in a war. That's the difference between a good leader and a great leader. Not essentially going to fight the war, but to be inspired for one common goal would be awesome. Everybody backing that up, the smiles, the joy, and everything that would come out of a great leader would be life-changing, period. But here we are. I like to go by number one. A great leader must radiate positive energy. A great leader will have the passion and will to succeed at all costs for the betterment of its people. So you're generally making a sacrifice for something, and in return radiating that good energy, that good positive energy. It's going to draw all kinds of people around to follow you, because as a leader you got followers. That's what you are. You're that tip of that spear, so you got to lead them to prosperity, and sadly I think that's been lacking in a lot of our communities in Indian country is, great leadership. I haven't seen one chief or anything that radiated positive energy for me. Maybe the last one was maybe Elijah Harper, because he was actually the one that did something for our people. We remember names like Geronimo, Sitting Bull, Pontiac, Shingwalk, Nebedagojing. You go down the list of great leaders we remember. And you'll ask, why do we remember those leaders' names? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, they sacrificed something for the greater good of their nation, their people, their team, their community. Question, will we ever remember any of these modern day chiefs? I believe I won't, because none has made meaningful change that'll change the lives for the future generations. That again, that's my opinion. That's some strong words, but I believe in something better. I really do. So number one was radiate positive energy. Number two, a great leader must have a proactive attitude. A great leader needs solutions instead of focusing on the problem. A good leader will always have a solution. It may not be a good solution, but it is something. It is something. Why is everybody unhappy? I got to figure that out. I really do. As a great leader, you want to fix that, because that's your responsibility, especially in a small community like ours, less than 3,000 people. And there's resentment, there's anger, there's hostility in that team. You want to fix that, so we need somebody that's going to be willing to come with some great solutions and ideas to fix that. A community goes a long way, family goes a long way, the team goes a long way when there's some leaders would have some good attitudes, proactive in anything. So great leaders know what to focus on. At any given point, they're very proactive. So again, number two is have a proactive attitude. Again, I apologize. I'm looking at notes. It helps me through this process, or I could just talk for hours, try to keep it short and sweet here. Number three, a great leader will delegate tasks completely, so they can focus on the more difficult tasks and gives the rest to others. So a great leader is going to trust its people at 100%. Hey, I'm trusting you to do this job. I'm not going to sit there and micromanage, or I'm not going to get our supervisor to micromanage. I'm going to trust you to do this task 110%, because I got some tasks that I got to take care of, and I'm going to do it. So number three, delegate tasks completely. Okay? Delegating also means fully trusting your team, our members, our community, without micromanaging them. So, we're off to number four, which is they are approachable. A great leader is one who the team can see themselves approaching whenever they have a concern. Okay? Sadly in our communities, if you want to speak to our leaders, you need to book an appointment. You need to be filled in a slot. They're hiding behind locked doors. If you're a leader, you should be ready and approachable at any time of any one of your peoples to listen to their concerns, their problems, their issue, or even to hear how good you're doing. Instead of hiding behind papers and policy and appointments, a great leader should be very approachable at any time, period. My notes here. Sam Walton. I don't know if many of you know who Sam Walton is, but he was the owner of Walmart. He started out with a little store, but one of his policies that I think made him very successful was he had an open door policy to any one of his thousands of employees at any time. They can come visit him, they can come sit down with him, they can discuss their problems, concerns, etc. And maybe that's why Walmart has been so successful, because they take care of their members, they take care of their team, and they're willing to listen to every single one of their member, down to the lowest level employee. So maybe that's why Mr. Sam Walton was very, very successful. So a non-productive work environment is one where employees are discouraged to speak up, fearing the loss of their jobs. I heard in our community there's a gag order, where I see it, where people can't say anything bad or say anything, discuss what's going on their social media or anything. The last time I remember, we live in a free country called Canada, where speech we have the freedom of speech. I put on that uniform for that very reason, so we can have opposing views and have the ability to speak, and not be dictated to. So, anybody, any employee, any member should have the right to speak up about anything, period, without the fear of being being taken care of because you spoke out of line. That mentality has to change. Great leaders encourage feedback from all members. Great leaders are approachable. So ask yourself, are your leaders in your community approachable? And you can go from there and come to your own conclusions. But again, that was number 4. Great leaders are approachable. So we're on number 5. They do what is expected of others. Great leaders will do what is expected of others. If you have a farmer there telling all the farm hands, we got to go shovel this big pile of manure over here, and you got to get it done by 4 o'clock. Get it done. Go do it. Those guys will probably do it, but imagine they're all sitting there, and that farmer comes out from whatever he was doing, and he starts shoveling that manure beside them, not a good job. Not who would want to do that, as a leader, but a great leader will. They'll sit there and work in the manure, fucking move that manure. Apologize for my language. They'll move that manure, work alongside that leader, and in return, that farmer probably gained so much respect from his farmhands because he was just simply out there shoveling the manure beside them. Instead of just, go shovel that manure, I'm going to go sit in the farmhouse and do this. See you later. So that's kind of important. So in the military, I was a cook. So say a busy time, steak night, Thursday night, we're serving 1,000 soldiers in Petawawa. They're coming through to eat. And, it's getting really busy. A good leader will, be in the back doing something, but a great leader is going to come work beside you. In my opinion, work with you to accomplish the common goal. That common goal is feeding the troops steak night, period. So in our communities, we should all have common goals that we want to work to together, and our leadership is going to work beside us and do it, because our leadership has to remember they're civil servants. They work for their people. They must inspire their people. It is so important for them to work with us and beside us to accomplish the great things our community, our family, and our team can accomplish with great leadership. A great leader sets an example and as a result gains the respect of his or her team members. Pretty cut and dry there, okay? A great leader is going to set the example. As a result, it's going to gain the respect of the entire team, not just a select few, the entire team. I understand you can't make everybody happy, but you should have the respect of your peers. You should have the respect of your family. You should have the respect of your community as a great leader. Number 6, which is very, very important, I think. Great leaders are accountable. Okay? The team's mistakes or are the leader's mistakes. You're the team leader. You are the leader. So they're your mistakes too. It isn't just about responsibility. It's about taking the next step to make things right. Great leaders are accountable. All right, that was number 6. Number 7, they are decisive. A lot of times leaders have to make decisions that they are unsure of. But once they have enough evidence to suggest making that decision, they stick with it and they do it with confidence. I'll give an example. Say you got an army in your hands. You're the general. You're the big guy. You don't know whether to attack from the east, west, south, etc. You don't know where to attack from. If there's no leadership that's going to be decisive when you attack that castle, you might have some people attack from the south, some people from the east, and some of your troops and soldiers and people might even just say, hell, I'm not even doing this. I'm out of here. So you'll have people over here, you have people over there, you'll have people taking off. But a decisive leader, we're going to attack from the west. We're going to attack at 9 a.m. and we're going to take that castle from the west. Whether it's a bad decision, a good decision, it is very decisive, and a leader is going to be the tip of the spear. So they're going to be attacking the west with the rest of the soldiers. So again, a great leader is decisive. Your job as a leader isn't always to make the right decision, but to make a decision in order to keep the team together. Again, very important quote that I have there. Wrong decisions can be fixed, but a scattered team is a recipe for disaster. So if we have a common goal in hand, say, everybody should be on board with that. But if there's all kinds of mixed up ideas and there's nothing decisive there to accomplish, then a scattered team is not a good idea. No one's on the same page. Everybody's fighting with each other. The morale is extremely low. So, great leaders are going to be decisive and help with that. They truly will. Great leaders are decisive and confident in their decisions. Again, they got to be confident in whatever they do. We got a lot of time leaders in our community that are depending on consultants, consultant this, consultant that, spending our money, millions and millions of dollars a year. I think as a group of leaders, they should be able to come together with some like-minded solutions instead of paying somebody else to. Because I think that's why the people voted you in, is to make some decisions and run with those. They may be bad, but at least you're making some decisions, not trusting on a consultant to make those decisions for you. So, in ending, I'll go through the 7 qualities of a great leader. Number 1, a great leader must radiate positive energy. Number 2, they have a proactive attitude. Number 3, they delegate tasks completely. Number 4, they are approachable. Number 5, they do what is expected of others. Number 6, they are accountable. Number 7, they are decisive. So, in closing, those are just some of my experiences and some of my opinions on what I think great leadership is. So I'd like you to ask yourselves, do you have great leadership in your community? Or is it good? Or is it bad? As a community, we got to decide together and come to some common grounds to make this place a great place to be. So I firmly believe in the future that this will be a great community to live in. Why can't Rankin be the nice part of Sault Ste. Marie? Period. Why can't the general public's perspective have a different view on who we are as a people? Because you ask the general public what they think of us, it's some not very good stuff. So it's up to our leadership to change that perspective on how the general public looks at us and how your community and members look at you. So again, Chimigwech for following our channel. Hope this discussion opened a little bit of light on leadership, maybe gave you some different ideas, maybe even changed your view on what a leader should be. So again, chimigwech, and until the next time, stay vigilant. We'll see you again. Bamapi Guamin.